connecting civil society organizations, both local and from the diaspora, and the government.
But how it will promote these organizations?
We think that it's very important to connect the preservation of cultural heritage with its enhancement.
Ինչպես եղավ, որ Հայաստանը դարձավ հետազոտության թեման եւ ակադեմիական հետաքրքրության հիմնական վայրը?
When it comes to restoration, there are not very fixed standards. We have still the same rules that there used to be before the independence of Armenia.
Hello everyone, today our guest is Gaianè Casnati, Italian architect, elected council member of Europa Nostra. Gaianè Casnati is a conservator architect, director of the Cultural Heritage Department of the Centro Studi e Documentazione della Cultura Armenia, and research fellow in architectural conservation at Politecnico di Milano. Casnati is author of several preservation projects in Italy and abroad. She has organized 3 exhibits on Armenian themes and has spoken at international congresses in Italy, Armenia, France, Belgium, Austria, etc. She has been working for CSDCA and Politecnico di Milano on projects in Armenia for organizations as UNESCO, the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Europa Nostra, and the World Bank. Gaianè Casnati has been a council member of Europa Nostra since 2018. Thank you, Gaianè, for having time to be here.
Thank you to you, I agree. It's a pleasure for me.
Today, I know that you implemented thousands of projects related to Armenian heritage protection, preservation, and you are very enthusiastic researcher for Armenia and Armenian heritage. Can you a bit tell about ARCH, Armenian Cultural Heritage Platform, and about this project in general?
As you mentioned, it's many years that I'm coming here in Armenia as a freelancer and collaborating with different universities all over the world, mainly Italians, but also French or from other countries. For instance, the project for Yerek that is implementing now, we had experts from 14 different countries, and this was very interesting, the collaboration. So we understood lastly that we need a greater collaboration, not only among foreign experts, but among foreign experts, local experts, and so we felt we need a platform to coordinate all the different programs. So we have seen that there are many programs that are mainly duplicating or that are not complete, and so we, as of the Armenian Society of Fellows, decided to create inside its organization a council dedicated to cultural heritage, for continuing their operation, which is mainly concentrated, this is a scholar organization, so the operations are mainly concentrated on the field of experts, of scientific research and implementation of scientific research results.
So it will be kind of scientific platform and gathering all the organizations, NGOs and initiations which are related to Armenian heritage, preservation, protection, but how it will promote these organizations, and have you already chosen which organizations will be presented in this platform?
First of all, we feel we need a mapping, and this year there is also another very important project that is being implemented by Europa Nostra. That it is named the European Heritage Hub. So the idea is to connect civil society and policymakers and inspect and understand which are the needs of civil society, also receive the ideas from civil society, and then having an impact on the rules and regulations and the policies that the government should take. And in this case, the European Heritage Hub is a hub that is thought for European Union. And so we think that ARCH can be the hub for Armenian heritage, connecting civil society organizations, both local and from the diaspora, and the government, because we think that the government should play a very important role as concerns culture. It's not possible to do anything without government when it comes to culture. So we feel we have a good collaboration already. We have experienced this collaboration since many years, and so we want now to have it somehow better organized. And the different organizations with whom we will work will depend on the projects and on the ideas. And also on the results of our mapping.
That would be great. So the government will be presented in this platform as well?
Yes, the Arch Council is made up of 17 members chosen among the scholars that are members of ASOF. And we have 3 members ex officio that are from the Armenian government. We have 1 member from the parliament, 1 member from the Ministry of Education, Science, Culture and Sport, that will be in the person of the Vice Minister. And we have a person from the Urban Development Committee of Armenia.
So that's great. I mean, maybe this is the first initiation which ties governmental bodies and NGOs and private initiations, and it's really very good platform. Do we have such kind of example when we speak about European countries? Let's say Italy or...
Well, in Italy we do not have such kind of organization, but we have a very successful one in France. It's named the Fondation du Patrimoine. And it's an organization that works just like Arch will work. So it works on the basis of different partnerships. They have in their board ex officio different members from the government. They have partner organization, sponsor organization, and they are linked on the territory. And they are working in the field of monuments preservation, both for very small projects initiated by private persons that want to restore their house, and also for big projects. For instance, the project of restoration of Notre Dame was contracted to them by the government because being a private organization, they can have an easier way to implement works. And they have the guarantee of the high quality because among their partners, they are the most important organization of heritage in France. So this is our model.
Great, but if we compare with the French model, I think the Armenian one, Arch, is the concept of Arch is larger, yes? So it includes not only monuments preservation, not only contemporary art, but I mean everything related to culture. Or do you have a specific concept of Arch? What kind of organizations and initiations will be in this framework, will be presented on this platform?
Well, we consider cultural heritage in its whole, as you were saying, and also we think that it's very important to connect the preservation of cultural heritage with its enhancement, with its valorization, and so involving performing arts or creative art together with the preservation is very beneficial. So we are now discussing with an European project platform that is named Merita for the organization of a concert in Ereruk. Ereruk is being restored now by the Ministry of Education, Science, Culture and Sports of Armenia together with the American Embassy that is financing the work. And Arch is organizing the training there for training the experts that are implementing the work.
That's a very good idea of creating this platform, and my question is, what do you think as an international expert and with your huge experience in this field, how Arch will influence on Armenian culture relations with European countries, with international community, how it will promote internationalization of Armenian culture?
Well, it will be from both directions. So from one direction, we have a very large network in Europe, in the States. I mean, among us of members, we have people also from the Philippines, from everywhere in the world. And we have the language to speak with those people, with the stakeholders outside of Armenia. And from the other side, we are working together strictly with Armenians that has the language for speaking with Armenia inside. And we think that this exchange will be much beneficial and will bring its results in a few years. And so this is made, for instance, now the ASOF supported the Armenian government in the purchase of a very big supercomputer for the Yerevan State University. So they will provide the experts to operate this computer, but this was the government that purchased it. So this is a very successful collaboration, and having these resources will help very much Armenians to be present in the outside world.
As far as I know, you are also engaged in preservation and protection of Armenian heritage in Nagorno-Karabakh, and you have implemented several projects, exhibits, and also publications. So how the heritage of Artsakh will be presented in Arch platform? Have you thought about the heritage in conflict and how to protect via the Arch platform?
Well, we are in touch with different experts. Now, specifically, the project that now Arch has is to coordinate a publication of a book, open source, by the Getty, devoted to the heritage of Artsakh. In this book will be presented all the studies implemented so far, and also will be discussed all the problems. So, for instance, how can satellite monitoring help in surveying the heritage. We will have discussion on how to preserve the heritage at risk. We will have lawyers that will speak about the legal problems and so on. And then also we were discussing just today with the head of the Historic Research Center for the Scientific Research Center for Historical and Cultural Monuments of Armenia, Hachik Arutunyan, the collaboration to the creation of a structure of a software structure for the management of heritage. So a sort of enhancement and modernization of the passport system in order to have it fully compliant with international standards and also easy to fill in. And this platform will help also in coordinating all the efforts of many experts that are working on the catalog of Armenian heritage of Artsakh.
So coming back to Arch platform, can it promote also the publications and scientific publications? Because actually it is very difficult, complicated task to publicate in high-ranking journals, and it is very new thing now. Academicians and a lot of scientists want to be engaged in this, but they also need to know the specific journals, the specific ways how to be published in this journal. So maybe Arch can be also this platform.
Yes, we have many experts, and I think we can study this and maybe have a sort of monitoring or a sort of need assessment. You can also present which are the problems, and then we can find the experts to support. I think maybe it's much more capacity building, because it's the way of writing the articles that maybe is not the same that was used to be used here. So maybe it's a way to understand how to present information in order to have this information to be accepted by international peer-reviewed magazines. That is very important to be present in this magazine. So it's a matter of quality and also on the way of presenting the information.
Okay, thank you very much. And what do you think now is the main gaps in heritage preservation and Armenian policy? Do you think, what's your point of view actually on this topic?
Well, we had a very fruitful discussion with Mr. Vartanyan, the head of the Urban Development Committee, because when it comes to restoration, there are not very fixed standards. We have still the same rules that used to be before the independence of Armenia. So we need to have a clear setting on which are the documents that are needed for presenting a project. So the government should ask for research, scientific research, for a survey that is very precise, from drawings at a certain scale, and technical assessment, structural understanding of the buildings, and so also setting which are the documents would help the experts to understand which kind of studies they should implement. And then there is not a price list for preservation work. So now when you have a project, you cannot implement it because you cannot budget it. And often happens that the donors are somehow not happy of the work here because they were said that the budget is 100. Then once the work starts, the budget becomes 200 because it's not possible to count it. So we have also an agreement to improve and to create a price list specific for the restoration works. And with the involvement also of restorers. So we have another problem in the մրցույթներ, in the competitions, because now there is not any requirement for quality. So you can have somebody who usually makes roads in asphalt, and then it wins a call and implement a restoration. So this should be somehow avoided and should be created a quality system to have not only the constructors that are specifically experts in restoration, but also these constructors should be obliged to have people prepared in restoration. When we offer training, we do not have anyone that want to come to this training because they feel there is no market for this kind of people. Until this is not requested by the state, this market will not be created, and also the training will not be effective.
But that is very important, I think, because that's why architecture work, when you see what's approved and what we see at the end of the restoration, those are different, totally different things. So, and sometimes it's better not to restore the monument.
Yes, often.
Yes, often, yeah, it is. So I think that it will be a very good project to implement.
Yeah, this is very important, and Mr. Vartanian was very positive on the idea of implementing these changes, that little by little. And then there is the university, the National University of Architecture and Construction, that started this year a new master in monuments preservation. So we will have also the experts in the design of monuments preservation.
Oh, that's great. It's a master project.
It's a master project, yes. It revived the master project that were being implemented by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Italy and Politecnico di Milano here 10 years ago. And, but now this is organized, twinning the local teachers with the foreign teachers in a way of make it permanent. So the teachers will be trained and then they will teach. So this will become something that, I mean, in the first year we will have international experts, but then this will become less and less until the local experts will become able to work.
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. And we talked about wonderful, incredible projects, and let's hope that all of them will be implemented in a coming future. And my last question, as I know that you know Armenian, I will give it in Armenian. So, Գայանե ջան, ինչպես եղավ, որ Հայաստանը դարձավ հետազոտության թեման եւ ակադեմիական հետաքրքրության հիմնական վայրը, ինչպես ճանաչեցիք Հայաստանը եւ այսպես նվիրված հետազոտող դարձաք Հայաստանի համար։
Ասիկա իմ ընտանիքից է, իմ պապիկս Մերսինայից է, Կիլիկիայից էր եւ եկավ Իտալիա 1909, բայց միշտ Հայաստանը իր սրտի մեջ էր եւ ես շատ կապված էի իր հետ եւ շատ էի ուզում հասկանալ ինչ է Հայաստանը, ինչու է մարդը այնքան շատ է սիրում այս երկիրը եւ շատ ուզեցել եմ այստեղ գալ։ Հետո պատահեց, որ Adriano Alpagonovello իմ պրոֆեսոր էր համալսարանը եւ Adriano Alpagonovello իր կյանքը նվիրված Հայաստանի ճարտարապետության հետազոտությունը եւ ես իր հետ համագործակցեցի եւ որ երնաշարժ երավ 1988 մենք ես համալսարանում էի եւ որոշեցի իմ ավարտելու թեմը նվիրել Մարմաշենի վերանորոգումը որ այս նախագիծ արեցինք ես ու իմ ընկերուհի Մարիամի մո որոշեցինք որ անպայման ուզում էինք վերանորոգել եւ այսպես սկսավ հետո ընկերացավ շատ տարբեր հայեր քեզպես եւ որոշեցի որ շատ հաճելի է վերադառնալ ամեն անգամ
Thank you for being our honored guest today, and it was our pleasure to have you here, Gaianè jan.
Thank you very much for having me.
Our guest was Italian architect and devoted Armenian researcher Gaianè Casnati.